Greetings, and welcome back to the lab, and welcome back to Freeform Friday. Today we're going to launch into a bit of work. This is mostly going to be a time-lapse video, because these have started to arrive. If you saw my Monday video, you saw me unboxing a bunch. Well, I've got more. So let's start with an unboxing. Actually, let's start with something else real quick. A stack of boxes. I have now built the orange lights, as well as the red lights, and that's on top of the green lights I already had. And there's actually, oh yeah, that's all of them. So that's those, and more has arrived in the mail. So it's time for the unboxing. Now, I don't know what order these are going to come out in, but let's find out what we have. And by the way, this chart that you're seeing over here is me laying out, instead of saying large, medium, small, I'm saying 3, 2, 1. So this is me figuring out if I literally want to have red followed by orange, followed by yellow, followed by green, followed by cyan, followed by blue, followed by violet. And I want them to be in kind of a wave form. So large, medium, large, medium, small. That then carries up to the next set, which goes to medium. So large, medium, small, medium, large, medium, small, medium. You get the idea. I laid it out this way so I could figure out what sizes I need of each of these circuit boards. There's also one more circuit board I'm going to need, and that should be in this particular batch that I received today. So, let's see which one this is. Actually, that would appear to be that one extra one, which is the, let me just get rid of the box here. That looks to be the couplers. And this is shrink wrap, or vacuum packed, is what I mean to say. I'm going to be careful not to, I've cut open those silica packs before. Now, I ordered up 20 of them, so that should be what I have here. 10 and 10. That puts me at a total of 25. It turned out ordering 20 was the most cost-effective way to do it, but then I realized I needed 5 more. So there's 5 more on the way. There's 5 already posted up on the outside. So let me put those away real quick. I'm going to clean up when I'm done. There we go. And that's just coupons in the bottom of the box there, which aren't really effective for the way I do it. Unless I wanted to order quite a few of them. Oh, wrong one. Okay, another box. So this has got to be one of 3 colors remaining. Let's see which one it is. You know, I'm curious to see. The last time I ordered yellow, it wasn't really the most pleasing yellow. And this is not yellow. This is white. And it's also in the... Oh, it's also in the vacuum pack type. Get rid of the packing here. And there we go. We got 5 of the white ones. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Yep, we're good there. And I don't know if you noticed when I had the other boxes, but I've been putting a label right on the front of the box because it makes it really good filing for all of this stuff. And when I'm done, I'm going to end up with Probably just one box with the extras that's going to say, I have it here. What did I call it? It said E26 3-circle bulbs. Actually, at this point, I'm calling them E26 globe bulbs because they're not really A-shaped. But that's just nitpicking on things here. So let's open another one and see what we've got. I really am curious, and it might be the last one, but I really am curious to see what those yellows look like. So if that was white, and if this is not yellow, I think it's purple. I've still got blue on the way, as well as some C9 bulbs. And this looks almost like black. That is their blue, if I'm not mistaken. Or is that the purple? We'll open this up. Let's see. It's purple. My mistake. I guess it's the blue that's still yet to come. Now, this purple is very dark purple, so that's why it kind of looked like black when I first opened it up. But there you go. It's all the same model. It's all the same circuit board. It's just a different color of, what do they call it? Solder mask. So, that's that one. Put that away. I'm going to have to make more of these labels. That leaves us with one more, which should be the yellow. Well, I have been wrong before, but according to the shipping, the tracking, this is the one that has arrived as the yellow in addition to those, and that's why, I thought it was blue, but maybe I was wrong. I think the blue is a different shade of blue. I'm looking for another, I have another circuit board that's blue. It's also a very dark color. Here's the yellow. I'll put that up there. It's interesting. It's not a square cut. I'm guessing it's just whatever. They must just have it all shrink wrapped and then, or vacuum packed, I should say, and then go through and just cut it like I'm doing with a knife and stick it. As long as it's small enough to fit in that box, then they're in good shape. Yep, well, there's the yellow for you. That looks a little bit different from last time. It was a bit more orange, I think, last time, but that should work out nicely. I'm going to put some yellow LEDs on that. So that takes care of red, orange, yellow. Green I already had. Cyan is going to go on the white. And I think that's it. I have... Was that the violet or was that the blue? Now I have to figure that one out. But anyway, that's a bunch of stuff. Now it's time to start building them. So the next scene you see will probably be shot over the next few days because I'm good for about 4 at a sitting, and I've got 3 boxes with 5 each, of which I'm only using 4 of them. So this may be shot over the next few nights, unless I really feel like doing a marathon. Then I might get it done in 1 or 2 nights. But next thing you're going to see is me trying to build all of these and only interrupting if something interesting happens. Cue the music. Cue the Christmas music. Alright, this is where it's going to get a little bit more complicated. It turns out that the violet LEDs I bought are really kind of more of a shade of blue. But trying the red and the blue, which is the other way to approach it, to hope that from a distance it kind of mixes. The red is a 2 volt and the blue is a 3 volt, give or take, and that creates a little bit of a problem in terms of the current running through them, so that the red kind of overpowers the blue. So I think what I'm going to have to do is, instead of doing 4 LEDs in each string of LEDs, the way these are set up is to have 4, 4, 4, 4 like that, and then you add up the voltages of all 4, and that should get you somewhere under 12. Well, it turns out these things are requiring more voltage, so putting 4 of them together, there's not enough voltage at 12 volts to drive them. So I think what I'm going to have to do is do 3 and somehow figure out how to stretch them out so that they kind of fill in the circle. It may not be perfect, but it is what it is. I'm going to try the best I can with it. If I have to at some point, I can pull out the purples and put in other colors or other decorations. Something. I've got just enough time between now and Christmas to figure that out. But I'm going to go ahead and build these purples, violet, whatever you want to call it, as is. And I'm holding the board here and hoping that it kind of shows that the light will also reflect off the purple of the board. So hopefully it'll pick up some of the color from the solder mask. So that's kind of what I'm up against on this one. I'll pick up again tomorrow and continue building, but I've got to figure out what to do with the purple. Okay, it's the next day and I've done a little bit of thinking, and I think I kind of have a solution, but I need to run through a few things, so we'll bring in the other whiteboard and let's find ourselves a marker and draw out the problem here. So what we have with these globe shaped circuit boards is we have 4 LEDs, and then we have that basically repeated multiple times. Now let's just say in the simplest case, the inner circle, there are 2 instances of this, and they are connected together like that. And let's say we call this ground. Oh, I gotta hope I'm still in frame here. Let me move back a little. We call that ground, we'll call this 12 volts. Well, the problem I have with the ultraviolet / purple, whatever you want to call it, I don't think they're actual like UVA, UVB, UVC type LEDs, but what we have is that they are running, and I'd forgotten about this. When you think about the spectrum of light and LEDs, you start with red, you go through green, you go to blue, Roy G. Biv, if you remember that from high school, and then you get to violet on the other end. Well, the problem is when you get to violet, well, these have the lowest voltage to turn on, and these have the highest voltage to turn on. Typically, a blue is going to be around 3 volts. The green might be 2.5, 2.8, somewhere in there. The red is going to be around 2.0. If it's a deeper red, it might be lower than 2.0, and then you even have infrared, which can be even as low as 1.2 volts. But the violet itself is more than the 3 volts. I don't know exactly how much, I haven't measured it, and I can do that in a moment, but let's just say for the sake of argument it's 3.2. Well, what I've got is I've got a 12 volt power supply, and if you take 4 of these and add them together at 3.2, you end up with 3.2 times 4 equals 12.8, and my supply is only 12.0. It's a regulated supply. Less regulated 12-volt supply, like in a car, might be able to drive all 4 of them. So I started with, okay, let's eliminate one of these. And the simple way to do that is, let me do this a little bit better. Simply replace it with another wire, another link. So on the circuit board, that's literally going to be me just folding up a little piece of wire and sticking it in where the LED should be. That takes care of that, and that would then get us down to, if this is 3.2, it would be at 9.6. But then the other problem I run into is these here are equally spaced. So trying to do 3 of them is just going to look funny, because you're going to see 3 LEDs followed by a blank space, followed by 3, followed by a blank space, and so on. So after a bit more thought, I'm just going to move this up a bit. Well, actually, let me move it back down. It occurred to me that a simple answer to that, to making it look good, is to eliminate a second LED and go down to 2 LEDs. Well, that means now that we are down to 6.4 volts on a 12-volt supply. That means I am dropping 5.6 volts. 5.6 equals 12, right? I'm dropping 5.6 volts across my resistor, but also in lighting these up, if I'm not careful, I might overdrive them past the, I'm not sure what the actual rating is on these LEDs, but I basically don't want to go above 20 milliamps. So I have to figure out now what kind of resistor would make sense, and to do that I've got 5.6 volts running across. When you put current into this string of LEDs, it's the same current running across each of them. When you, in terms of adding them together, you would have, let's say we got 20 milliamps going through here, and you got 20 milliamps going through here. Now you got 40 total. But in my particular case, the way I have this wired up, actually, now that I look at it, this is incorrect. How I showed this. Let me do it this way, because it's just going to be easier. I'm going to put a resistor. So I have separate resistors connecting me to ground. Okay? So I need to calculate one resistor against all of this. So it's going to be a 5.6 volt drop divided by 0.02 would be 20 milliamps, and that's going to come out to, some of you may be ahead of me here, 0.02 at 280. Now, I'm not going to get exactly a 280 ohm resistor, but also I don't necessarily want to drive it at exactly 20. So what I want to do is actually drive it a little less than 20 so that I'm not pushing the LED too hard and they don't burn out too quickly. So let's say, for instance, if I made it 330 ohms, I'd have 5.6 divided by 330 would give me 5.6 divided by 330 equals 16.9 milliamps. So that's what I'm thinking is going to work for me. I have some 330s. Let me go pull out a couple of those and wire up the breadboard, and we'll see how well that works and how bright it is. In the end, though, if you think about this circuit board and the fact that there's LEDs like this, well, it's going to be every other LED that's going to be lit up. It still doesn't look perfect, but it's better than having 3 of them lit, followed by 1 blank space, followed by 3 lit, followed by blank space. I think that's going to be better. So that's what I'm going to go set up on the breadboard, and let's see how it looks. Alright, you may have to use some imagination on this, but I'm going to go ahead and plug it in. And that's how bright it is at 330. The next step down I have on my substitution box is 220, which is actually less than the 280 we were talking about. That does make it a bit brighter, but it's not that much brighter. So I think this may be the solution. And I did notice when I was going through footage that I just shot, like the previous segment that you saw, that the purple here, or this is really kind of a, to the eye, to me, it looks like kind of a powder blue instead of a purple. But my hope is that with the purple background of the circuit board, it'll look more purple when it's all finished. But ultimately, I did notice that it does kind of make the whole scene look purple. So that's maybe what you're seeing. But to the naked eye, it's more blue. That's why I've been kind of struggling with this. But I wanted to figure out a solution. I think I have a solution. I've got some 330s, so let's get back to building, and let's get back to the Christmas music. Alright, folks. We've got one entire string. This is not the end. And these will be spaced out much more than this. But try and imagine, 2.5 feet apart, spread across the entirety of the roof, and then actually 4 of these. So that's quite a bit. That's like 60 feet worth of stuff, somewhere in that neighborhood. So, but let's see what one set looks like. Oop, gotta do it this way. If I remember correctly. There we go. Okay, the purple could be a little brighter. And there is a space here for the blue because I don't have those circuit boards yet. But I think that's where I'm going to wrap it up this week. I've got to put all this together and edit and add the music and all of that. So, as this comes out on December 1st and December begins, I hope that everything is going well for you. I hope you're having a good holiday season. And yeah, we'll see if we can get this finished off by next Friday and have them hanging. If not, we'll see. All I can do is just keep working on it. So, that's it for now. We'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.